Good morning, everyone. So we have a super hot topic today that was brought up from our FAQ page. So if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask that question on our FAQ page. It always makes for super entertaining videos and video content. So happy to bring you this one today, but I thought it was a great question. Is paying my staff cash under the table legal? Woo! Big question with lots of different arenas and things to get into. So I'm going to answer, of course, as a CPA, it is my job to answer the law by the IRS, but also to make sure that you are staying above board, that you're not doing anything that's going to get you in trouble. So is paying my employees cash under the table legal? I guess it depends on what you mean by under the table. So I'm going to get into some details here. So if you are paying your employees cash, employees or 1099 contractors, either one, if you're paying them cash, not reporting it as a deduction, not reporting it to your state for unemployment or workers' comp or disability insurance, if you're not reporting it at all, okay, and you don't take a deduction for it, meaning you are still going to pay the tax on the money, even though you gave the cash to somebody else, you should be kind of okay. Now, why am I saying you're okay? Because if you're not taking a deduction for it, you're effectively giving that person a gift. It's not taxable to them, but you don't get a tax deduction. You're effectively okay, all right? So if you as a business owner choose to not report it as a deduction and give somebody cash, just understand it's a gift. It is not a deduction. Don't put it on your tax return. It is not a deduction. But I think where the question was going is if I pay somebody cash and report it as a deduction, right? Meaning it's an expense to my business. I've given somebody cash to do a job. Can I take it as a deduction? I'm going to go with no, okay? It is not legal. And why? Of course, the big answer is why. Now, there are multiple things. The government always has their hand out, right? They are always looking for their cut of the taxes. So if you pay somebody cash and take a deduction for it, I'm getting all worked up. Technically, you are supposed to give that person what's called a 1099, okay? Now, there are some very specific rules, and we've gone over this in multiple videos, so we'll try and link our 1099 versus W-2 video in the show notes, or you can find it on our YouTube channel. Just type in 1099 and it'll pull up probably about 50 videos, but look for the 1099 versus W-2 video. So if you're paying somebody cash, you are supposed to obtain what's called a W-9 and give them a 1099 at the end of the year if that dollar amount goes over $600. Now, asterisk, the $600 is the current limit. That could change at any point in the future. So always check with your CPA and or tax strategist as to what is the then current limit when you're doing that. But if it's less than $600, you can still take the deduction. You are supposed to gather their W-9. If you pay them more than $600, you are supposed to give them a 1099 so that they can report their own income tax, self-employment tax, whatever it is. Now, the first question, and this is why I brought up W-2 versus 1099, is the job that you've hired this person to do legal to give them a 1099? You're going to have to watch that other video. That'll take a whole nother 10 minutes to explain W-2, or 20 minutes, I think, that video, 1099 versus W-2. So for purposes of this video, I'm assuming you've already checked that. They do qualify as a 1099. You can take the deduction as long as you gather that W-9 and you give them a 1099 at the end of the year, okay? Now, if we're talking about a W-2 employee, as I said, the government always has their hand out. If you're paying a W-2 employee cash under the table, meaning you're reporting the cash as a deduction, but you're not reporting that on their W-2, that means the government is missing out on Social Security taxes, so FICA, Medicare. You might also have state issues like, for example, underpaying workers' comp or disability insurance. These are legal responsibilities of you as an owner, okay? Paying employees, W-2, paying employees cash under the table is illegal. The federal government and state government gets really upset about that. Payroll taxes is one of the few things that they will, even if you have a separate business and you think you're separating your liability, they will come after you personally for payroll taxes, okay? This paying employees cash under the table is listed by the IRS as one of their top types of employee non-tax compliance. Big, bad, nasty thing, okay? Now, paying employees under the table might sound attractive, but please beware, okay? It sounds like it'd be cheaper and easier than lawfully running payroll. Obviously a problem. The IRS does hunt for this stuff. So if you were ever to get into an audit and they're looking at your cash records versus how much cash you have left, and you can't explain where that cash went, be prepared, okay? One of the very first places they look is cash under the table payments. This is most common in business types that have a lot of cash transactions. So restaurants, bars, clubs, this kind of thing, okay? Now there are penalties, severe penalties, if the IRS catches you paying employees under the table, okay? Some of those penalties, of course, the IRS can audit you. You've been skipping out on employment taxes, which means both your side and the employee's side. You can have, as I said, personal penalties for that. They can come after you. They can even, I know, even my security system's getting worked up about this. You can even be blacklisted, completely restricted from ever opening a business again, ever in the future. They have that power, okay? They can do criminal convictions, depending on how big this is, how much that you're not doing. You know, in the eyes of the IRS and state governments, this is willfully, like by choice, willfully committing fraud, failing to withhold and deposit employment taxes. Willful fraud is one of the worst things that you can do, right? This is, you guys have heard me talk about that aggression scale, 0 to 10, right? 0 meaning the IRS never calls you never ever, 10 meaning we're all going to jail. This is a level 9. Willful failure to withhold and deposit payroll taxes. It's effectively what Al Capone did. He was doing income taxes, but willful failure to report income, willful failure to report and withhold and deposit employment taxes. This is fraud. Mega alert, don't do it. Okay, so now what can you do instead? Okay, of course, you could absolutely look at whether this person might qualify as a 1099 instead of a W-2 employee. Okay, you might consider paying employees with direct deposits or checks to make sure that you have that paper trail. You know, the paper trail is good. We like paper trail when it comes to the IRS. Of course, you do want to make sure that you're properly set up for payroll. So do you have a federal employment identification number, an EIN? Have you set up the state accounts? Have you reported the new hires to your insurance? What about to your workers' comp company? Okay. When you run payroll, of course, make sure you're doing payroll right. So you're doing the proper withholding taxes, deductions, health insurance, all of those kinds of things to make sure that you're staying compliant. Okay. Now, payroll taxes and sales tax are the two highest audits in the IRS code, okay, and especially at the state levels, because they are huge money makers. People mess this up all the time. So if you're looking for a team that knows what they're doing and, of course, is very, very, very familiar with tax laws, what you should and should not do, reach out to us at taxgoddess.com. We do offer payroll services. We are a full service CPA firm on top of being, of course, strategy specialists. So if you have any questions on any of this, don't hesitate to reach out to the team and I, taxgoddess.com. You can book an appointment with us and we'd be happy to go over it with you. So if you are not sure if you've been doing something wrong, please reach out. I am absolutely a huge proponent, 1,000%. Report all your income. Then we look for all the legal deductions and loopholes, keep you above board, but also minimize your taxes. So if you have any questions, guys, don't hesitate to reach out. Taxgoddess.com, super easy to find. Looking forward to chatting with you soon. All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye. Oh, P.S. If you've done this, if you, I don't want to call it willful fraud, okay, but if your CPA said this was okay, if somehow you thought you did research and you thought this was okay, it's not okay. Reach out to us, okay? We do have a fantastic tax attorney partner. If you think you're really going to be in trouble, let us help you. We can help you on that front as well, all right? So don't be scared to call. It's much better to fix the problem as soon as you realize you have a problem and then do it properly moving forward. So, all right, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye.